farmers, and welcome back to Griffin, Indiana. Day 4 of summer is here, and you can see I am mowing grass. I'm actually over here in field number 1. I've already mowed the other field this morning. You guys weren't up yet, so yeah, I didn't bother recording. Didn't want to wake you up, but I'm over here in field number 1 mowing the grass. It is considered dry grass, so I don't have to ted it. We'll just have to wait for it to completely dry, turn to hay, windrow it, and then bale it on up. But I have finished harvesting the barley that we were doing last episode and picked up the bales. Let me just double check how much barley we ended up with. If we go here, I was checking the milk prices. We'll get that in a second. Yeah, we're up to we got 387,000 liters of barley from those two fields. And field 17, I really don't know how well the condition of that field was in because we just purchased it. So maybe next year it might be even better. But yeah, we got a lot of really good amount of bales. I'm going to say somewhere around 70 because I had a full trailer. And my trailer holds 39 bales, so we'll just say 40. And it was almost full on the second load. So I'm going to say just a little bit over 70 bales. And of course our bales are 20,000 liters apiece. And that bale shed is working out great. You can see kind of off there in the distance, we got a good amount of straw bales ready to go. But that should be good enough for our cows for a while, and that bale shed is going to work out rather well. I've even actually had to take a bale out this morning because the cows needed some bedding. So everything is working out there. As for today, though, definitely day 4 of summer. Got to get this grass finished cutting today. Frank's going to take over here in a second. But yeah, we need to get this taken care of this in-game day. It did rain yesterday, like I said, when we were harvesting. It did rain at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so good thing I didn't cut the grass yesterday because it probably wouldn't have dried. And then the grass would have been wet, and some of it would have decomposed. So good thing we're waiting for today. Today should be a good day. It won't be this episode where we make hay bales. It'll be next episode probably, or should be. We're going to have our hands full. But yeah, Frank's going to take over here in a second because I've been mowing grass. The other field took me like about 40 minutes to mow that. So you're seeing a little bit of me mowing grass today, and I'm pretty much done mowing grass. But we got to jump down into the Steiger. We got to go ahead and plant soybean in field 30 and 17. Now you may be saying, but you didn't do precision farming in field number 17 yet. I want to do that after. I want to buy the crop sensor, the class, or class, as they pronounce it, crop sensor, which is like 23 grand. That's why I was checking out the milk prices, because I got about 140,000 liters of milk I want to sell. But right now the price is not good. So what I'm hoping is we're going to plant the soybeans today before I do crop sensing. And maybe by the end of the day, or maybe first thing tomorrow, milk price will be good. I'll sell the milk, we'll buy the crop sensor. And I may rescan all the fields, but definitely got to get field 17 done to find out how much lime it needs, how much fertilizer it needs. Now that's the only thing with precision farming is you just can't go into the regular base game and see exactly what your field needs for pH value or lime or fertilizer. It's going to say check your precision farming page and you can see the results. But since we haven't scanned it, it's going to show us no data. So I'm just waiting to sell milk, get enough cash to go ahead and buy. It's like 20, we're going to say just shy of 24 grand. That's what it's going to be. But other than that, the farm is doing great. Those bale sheds are coming in nicely. I actually got our bale trailer and our grain trailer parked in that shed now. So that's going to work out lovely. But I do like the fact that the bale sheds are right there next to the feeder. It's not going to take much to take them out of the bale shed and grab the Ford with the bale spike and just toss them into the mixed feeder. And if you remember last episode, I talked about the mixed feeder where I adjusted how much TMR it feeds the cows and all that. That is working out really good. So every time we just get more cows, I have to go in and readjust how much the feeder mixes up. Now the only issue is going to be is the more it mixes up, that means the more it's going to take. But that's not that big of a deal. Just have to refill the TMR mixer more often. Not a big deal. So the weather today, like I said, should be good for drying this grass. It's going to be like well, you can see in the upper right hand corner on the far left of that HUD up there, you see a little plus sign. So it's a good day for drying grass. It's not a double plus day, which is a fantastic day. But the way the weather's going to be, I hope it changes today because I think it's going to rain tomorrow. So hopefully this grass, it does dry up. I think it will. Not a problem. It's going to be a nice day weather-wise. some clouds, but there is a decent breeze. I think the wind is supposed to get up to, it says 5 meters a second. So it should be pretty good. It should be dry, and it's not going to take us long to windrow it. What we will do is, I think we did it last year when we got the Valtra. We'll have like the Deutz-Fahr pulling the Krone windrower, and we'll have the Valtra behind us with the baler baling up the hay bales. And then it won't take us long to pick up the bales and dump them into the bale shed. I was thinking though when I was picking up these straw bales how mods change the game so much. If I was just using all base game equipment, this series would not be where it is because it's a lot of work. I mean, you look at the auto-loading baling trailer that I use all the time. If I actually had to take, say, like the Ford down, pick up a bale, load it on, and load those, like I said, 70 bales I picked up, that would take me forever. I don't have forever time. Gotta love the mods, like the bale sheds here. Be able to stack up bales and pile them up nicely and get them out of the way. It's gonna feel weird, and when FS22 comes out, which is now just about 2 months away, like I said, it's gonna get it's just coming faster and faster. It seems like, yeah, but like the first week for sure, you're not gonna have any fabulous mods. You may have a couple mods out there. I think when FS19 came out, Stevie is one that I look to first because he'll take base game tractors and just make them like a little bit faster, or we can change multiple colors on them. He's like one of the first ones I checked. Like within a day or two, he's got a couple mods out there. Like, well, here's like the T8. I don't even remember how the base. I think the base game T8 can do what, 32 miles an hour, and I think our modded one does like 48. And of course, we can change any color. But other than that, like real, I mean, maps. You're probably not going to see modded maps for a little bit. Unless Giants gives them modders a little bit of a heads up of what to expect for modding. I know when 19 came out, I think it was probably a good 2 months before decent maps came out. I think like within a month, a couple maps came out and they were okay, but definitely nothing for my taste that would come on because they had a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of issues, but a lot of visual issues and such. So I'm getting kind of excited for FS22 coming out. I don't want to say I'm getting bored of 19 yet, but some days I feel like I'm there. Maybe because I'm just playing too many episodes on the same map. But I'm enjoying this series here for sure. It's going to be a little bit more exciting once we get a little bit more cows. I know some people are like, well, you're not even at 200 cows yet. It's like, it's going to get there. It's going to get there soon. Actually, I'm guessing by winter I might actually have 200 cows in the barn. And by the end of next season, it could be up to 400, you know. It's just going to get there faster and faster. Alright, I think I'm going to set Frank off here. Let me just put it like right over here so I know he's going to get everything. I hope it's Frank, but if it's not, should do fine. You're going to get it all there. Alright, we'll leave it be. We're going to run over here and just check on the straw bales. So the good thing about this bale shed, and hopefully I remember to put the link in the description below on the previous episode for these. But if I come over here, it'll actually tell me how many liters of straw that we have, which is 1.8 million liters of straw. So that should do it. How much hay do I actually currently have? 760. So we'll see. When you come over here, we got this grass all cut. So it just needs to come out and dry. And we'll just double check on the cows. 185 cows is what we're at, and yeah, everything is looking fine here. Don't worry about the hay silage because they just purely go on the TMR for now. If the TMR runs out, then they'll eat the hay silage, and then they'll go ahead and take care of the grass. Looks like, yeah, they're kind of taking care of the grass there. Where is... There we are. This is what we're looking for. Let's fire this bad boy up. Come out here and grab our drill and such. This should be full of C for sure. That should be lined up well enough. And the hoses. Now we just gotta make sure we switch over to soybean. And we are ready to go. Right, let's go ahead and unfold this because it does take a moment. Yeah, that should be kind of close. Not going to take us long to do this field here and the other field as well. 1870 or is it 1860? I think it's an 1870 drill, right? Yeah, 1870 John Deere. And that's all set to go. Let's go ahead and lower it. You can see the hydraulic hose is all moving some equipment down. There it goes. I've learned to become a little bit more patient with this every once in a while. And like I hit the button to lower it. It's like, oh, it's not lowering. I keep hitting it. It's like, okay, now you want it up. Now you want it down. Meanwhile, the hoses are like, make up your mind. Alright, some good old soybean being put into the ground. Now that we're going to have 2 fields of soybeans this year. Oh, yeah. Money's going to come in a little bit quicker now. Just by buying field number 17, having another field that we can get some crops off and sell. Of course, getting more cows, more milk that way as well. So the money's going to come in a little bit quicker. And like I said before, I don't want to do any more contracts. If I did contracts this year, that way we could buy another field. I think I did, what was it, $325,000 worth of fertilizing contracts this spring. I'm hoping from now on I don't have to do any contracts. I've done way too many contracts. I think almost close to 600 contracts on this Let's Play. And you probably saw maybe a dozen of them. That's about it. I did a lot of off-camera work to get that cash. I'm not one to really cheat the money in and do it that way because to me, I like the accomplishment of look what I did. It makes me feel better by actually just saying I did all the work. I earned it. I didn't cheat it in. I'm trying to think if I've ever done a series to where I just cheated the money in and just went, okay, this series is just for fun. Let's see, we did Pacific Northwest. We didn't cheat nothing in there. That was paying off a $55 million loan. Hazard County was like definitely a seasons thing. That was our first season Let's Play. Let's see, what else did we play on? I did a little bit on Hawks Bay. And Hawks Bay, I kind of had the idea to where originally, I never finished that series in a way because that was paying off a $20 million loan. But I was playing on normal economy and I paid off the first $10 million so quick, I was like, okay. And that's when I got the idea for the Pacific Northwest to pay off a much bigger loan and challenge. Let's see, I think my first 19 series was on Ravenport, and that was just having good old fun there. Then we went to Mercury Farms. Yeah, I don't think I've done any series where I just cheated the money and said, yeah, let's just go ahead and we'll spend it that way. If I have, let me know below, because I don't remember doing so. Corn is looking rather good over there. Hasn't grown since the last episode, even though we got a day. Now, the other thing I'm kind of curious about, and I keep forgetting to check, but I do actually have a couple patches of grass that did not grow. I saw when I was mowing the grass field that we made prior to recording here. There was a couple patches of grass that did not grow. I mean, there's grass there, it just did not grow. I got to remember now to double check later on. Now that I mowed over it, does that reset the grass and it might regrow, or do I have to replant grass there? I'm not really sure how that works. Not a clue. I'll probably forget about it because I won't be mowing the grass again until a year from now. We only mow the grass once a year here because that's the way the geo is. I could mow the grass again like late fall, but then again, the only thing I could probably do with it is actually make silage bales, because we cannot get the grass to dry in late fall with this geo. Well, I shouldn't say we can't. I've only tried once, and I think it was the first year we had it, and that grass sat in the field for over 3 days and did not dry. And before you even say anything, in case you didn't see it, and you might be new here, yes, it was dry grass, it wasn't wet grass. If you're new to seasons, you may be asking, okay, so what's the difference between wet grass and dry grass and hay? When you cut it, the wet grass will look just like it would in the base game, a really dark green color. If it's wet grass, you have to take the tedder and turn it over, and then you have to wait for it to turn into the color that you saw when we're cutting the grass. That's dry grass. When it's dry grass, you don't have to ted it, you just got to leave it there, and eventually the weather conditions will dry the grass, and the dry grass will turn to hay, and the hay kind of looks like a straw color. Not as dark as we saw when we were doing the bales previous episode, but it'll get to be like a light brown color, and that's hay. So yeah, the first year we did that grass field, we cut it, and it was that dry grass light green color, and we waited and waited, and it just never turned. The weather conditions just weren't good enough for it to dry. I know I say this every time I use this Steiger and John Deere 1870 combo, but I'm loving this. Part of me was going to use the Big Bud, and I was like, you know, I've used the Big Bud before. That's why I started searching the mod hub, and I found this beautiful Steiger. I'm like, oh yeah, well, let's go ahead and use that. It's just, I don't want to say it's, I know Steiger and Big Bud fans might get upset at me if I say they're kind of the same tractor in a way, in looks and everything, but. And I thought about putting triples on this thing, but it's hard enough. We just barely fit through the bridges as is. Now, I guess I could put triples on it because if I were to go over the bridge to see the field, that's why we didn't buy. Originally, I was going to buy those fields, was it like 2, 3, 4, 5? Originally, I was going to get all those fields and merge them together. The problem is this drill will not go through the bridges. So that's why we're buying all the fields in a general area that I don't have to go through bridges to get there, because it doesn't work. I know over there, going into field number 2, 3, 4, 5, I did put down my own bridge, so I have to go into a field and cross that way when I used to do contracts with drilling. Hope Frank's getting along just fine up there. Actually, when I hired a worker, it kind of looked like a Mrs. Frank that was driving up there, so maybe she took over. So we should be able to harvest these soybeans late fall, early winter. On this geo, we can actually harvest up to the second day of winter, and we are playing with 6-day seasons. I am kind of hoping that the milk price goes up some point. Right now, the milk price is actually going down. I would like to see it in the 1300s, like 1325. I don't know what the best price I've seen at our sell point. But that won't. I just got to sell 1 tank of milk, and that's more than enough cash to buy that crop sensor, the class crop sensor. And we're just going to buy it now because I am still waiting for. I know a few people told me it's like, oh, after you harvest the field 4 times, it's outdated data. And I think we've harvested these fields more than 4 times already, and it's still showing data, so I'm not too sure. I can't remember. I was watching, it was either Mr. Sealy P or Daggerwin a while ago. They were playing on seasons, and they finally had a field that showed outdated data, and they had to resense it. I can't remember who it was. Occasionally I'll watch other YouTubers when I'm prepping in between videos. It's like between last episode and this episode, finishing up that harvest and doing the bales and transporting everything around. That took me about an hour and a half to get everything set up to where we are now before I started recording. So sometimes I'll just put their videos on in the background, just listen to them. Sometimes you get ideas from watching other people, or you see a mod or something that they're doing. It's like, and it give you an idea of your own. almost done with this field here. We'll switch over to field number 17. So field number 17, after doing the harvest, it gets a little... I can see we're doing some workers on that field. Might get a little tricky because it's got the BGA plant kind of embedded on the southern half of the field. So it's got some tight corners there, and the field goes like right up to the boundary markers of the BGA. It was a little snug in there with the combine. I was running the combine through those corners, and Frank was behind us in the Vultra doing some bales. Luckily, I didn't clip nothing, and Frank didn't have no problem following me around. So I'm wondering, when I go plant there and do the headlands, I probably will miss the corners a little bit. Not going to worry too much about it. It's amazing. We just harvested this field the day, in-game day yesterday, and those weeds were growing up before the end of the day. I keep reminding myself, don't take turns too tight with this thing. I don't want my drill getting caught up in the seed tanker wheels. But this field is full of soybean, and as we have seen, soybean does not require much, if any, fertilizer. If we just let's go to our precision farming here, and let's see what this looks like. pH level looks okay. Yeah, nitrogen may look bad, but if we get out, wrong button. If we get out of the tractor and walk in the field, yeah, pH level is bad, which is lime, and that burrito is full of lime. So I may be doing that, like I said, when we precision scan field number 17 here in the near future, may spread lime in all the fields. But the nitrogen says it's perfect. It's kind of weird that soybean does not require any fertilizer whatsoever. Can I just sneak across here without having to fold this up? No, I'm not going to be able to do that. Yes, I can sneak across, but I'm not going to be able to sneak across between the cornfield and the baseball field fence. Just waiting for the 1870 to lift up all the row cleaners and closers and fold on up. Alright, let's scoot across. Not really sure I know where I want to start. This is the first time really doing drilling in this field with a drill like this. Let's just, we're going to swing over here and start up against this line over here and see how I can do the corners. Well, Frank must be done. At least he says he is. Or Mrs. Frank. I still remember, I was a little concerned about this Steiger John Deere combo. And the reason being, according to the stats, what the drill requires for horsepower, this Steiger barely had enough horsepower to pull it. But luckily here in Griffin, Indiana, it's rather flat, so we don't really have an issue. Okay, let's lower it. Turn it on. You can almost hear the money going to the bank when I'm planting soybeans. So once we get precision farming done on this field, then we'll be able to increase the output of it pretty darn good, the best as we possibly can. Alright, and we'll turn it like this. That just said don't turn it too tight, and then you turn it a little bit too tight. There we go. So next season, next spring, we'll bring down our subsoiler. I think, like I said, I'm not going to say I got a plan, but my idea is to merge these two fields together and make this the cornfield next to us in this field here. This will be our cereal crop field where we get all of our straw, And then, of course, in the fall, we'll plant soybean. And this cornfield will be switched over to the field we just planted. That way, when I do corn chaff, it'll be a little bit easier. I think. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. And then maybe in the future, we'll buy field number 29, which is that field right across the way, and merge that field. I don't think I'm going to need that much corn chaff for a while. But maybe when we get up to as many cows as we plan on having, I might need that much. But just getting the soybean in the nick of time, because this is the last day, technically, according to the geo, that we can plant soybean. So hopefully the weather is good at the end of fall, early winter. Through the winters, like I said, I think we're in year number 7, because our cows are getting to be up near 7 years of age. I think we bought cows in the first fall, so I think this is year number 7. And all the winters that I've done through this Let's Play, the winters have not been brutal. They're not really extremely cold, and we don't get that much snow. I know there's a couple of you that do watch that are near the Griffin, Indiana area. Are the winters really like that? I thought you guys would get a little bit more snow than what I'm getting. I know it's just a game, and we're playing with the geo, and it's kind of a rough play here. But you guys maybe don't get that as much snow down there as I thought you probably did. I guess it's all, you know, in perspective where you live. You know, you guys maybe in Griffin, Indiana, maybe get, let's just say, I'm just spitting out a number here, maybe get like a foot of snow a year. To me, a foot of snow a year is not a lot, but I guess, you know, people down south would say a foot of snow is a lot. So, but as far as I'm concerned, a foot of snow is not hardly nothing really. And I could say the same thing. I say I live up in Vermont, so I don't know how much snow we get per year, but we get storms to where we get a foot of snow in just a storm. We get like maybe 4 or 5 of those a year. And a couple times we get those what we call nor'easters, where we can get up to 3 feet in one storm. So I know there's going to be someone that comes along. It's like, well, I live here and we get like 10 feet of snow a year. So this is the tricky part I was kind of talking about, these tight corners down here by the BGA. But there's actually more room here than I thought there was. And once I get one headlet in with this 1870 drill, then I got plenty of room around the headlets to move around. I was just wondering, it may seem kind of stupid, can I put a hitch at the back of that seed tanker? The one thing that wouldn't work, I don't know if that would have a PTO shaft in the back. Mind if I put like a slurry spreader on the back of the seed tanker? So I could, you know, seed and then fertilize in one go. I think that's getting a little bit too greedy and trying to get enough work done in one pass, but so it's little areas like this. I know at one point I was talking about putting down a fish hatchery, and basically what I would need to do there is put down a factory for the fish. I think it's just one factory, and I would need to put down something that makes crates. I think it needs to make crates. If I were to do that, and I don't think we're not going to end up doing that at all, but if I do change my idea of doing so, it'd probably be put down here. That way I wouldn't have to do field work in that tight little corner. And the reason why I was going to do a fish hatchery is because what they require is corn for feed, and of course we're going to have, I want to do some corn. We got the corn / sunflower header for the Ideal 10T, but have I used it for I think I did it with contracts. I may have harvested some corn, and actually I don't think I've done any sunflower on this map. But yeah, I got the header for it. I think I'll just turn off the drill when I make corners, just to make it look go a little bit faster. What I would like to see in Farming Simulator 22, probably won't be in the base game, but maybe someone will make a mod for it, is I've been seeing a lot of videos. I think Welker Farms is one, and Cole the Corn Star is another one. They've been putting Titan tires on their tractors, and those are big, big tires. I think actually, hang on a second, is it under large tractors? Is it the John Deere? Do I have that installed? That's the question. If I don't have it installed, it's not going to show it. It might be this one. This mod actually might have the tires. Yeah, that could be something what we're... Actually, I don't think even those are even as big as the Titan tires might be. But they're huge. They are flipping huge. But I would like to see a mod like that come out. I mean, there's a lot of mods I would like to see come out, but... Oh man, if I actually had all the time in the world, I probably would go ahead and make some mods for Farming Simulator, but... I don't. I can't even fathom the starting of a map. I wouldn't even have an idea. Not taking me long at all to do this field either. But man, this field is going to look so good when fall comes and it's full of soybeans. I'm interested to see when harvest time comes, how much soybeans we actually get out the field. I'm actually thinking, do I want a precision farm? You know what, with soybeans, I probably do want a precision farm. I was thinking maybe hold it off because I want to merge these fields together. And then we'll have to precision farm that little section, but this is a tiny section in between, so... Yeah, we better precision farm because with soybeans, the more, I mean, at 1,200 per 1,000 liters, that'd be a good increase. So we got to make sure this field is well taken care of when soybean harvest comes. Just gotta wait for that milk price to climb back up, and if the milk price doesn't get as good, we'll just sell enough milk to get ourselves enough cash to buy the precision farm class crop sensor. The one thing, there's a couple things I like about the crop sensor. If you look at with precision farming, they send like a drill, and that kind of does like a circle. Basically, a drill and it covers a circular area, which is all fine and good. But just that when you try and do a square field and you got circles, it's hard to, you got to overlap quite a bit. And then you got to send soil samples out. Now, depending on your money situation at the time, you may not know you have to send soil samples out, and it can get rather expensive. I don't know if the price changes depending on your economy mode, if you're running on easy, medium, or easy, normal, or hard. I don't know if that changes. But I'm trying to think when I did precision farming. So if you watch, I know I did, I think the last time I probably did it may have been on Wither Farms. And I did the big barley field, and I think that was like $7 grand for soil samples. And if you didn't watch it, I'm going to say field number well, that field I did in Wither Farms is probably about the same size as this one here, ish, give or take. So, I mean, it's not that expensive. I mean, if you're doing soil samples, it's going to increase your yield by a lot. $7 grand on a field this size, not that big of a deal. With the crop sensor, we just got to like drive over the field, and it senses the soil, I guess. Probably sending down radio wavelengths, and the way the radio wavelengths bounce back, it can determine what kind of soil it is, I would assume. I don't know, that's the way I'm guessing it works. But at least with that, like the crop sensor, I can put that on a tractor, and I can hire a worker to go around the field, because it has a working width, and the worker will go ahead and do the crop sensing for us. With the drill, you pretty much have to do that on your own. So this will be the last time I'm using the drill this season, so I'm going to have a lot of seed left over. We topped it off at the beginning of spring. And we use about, we're going to use about 40% of the seed this year. Now I have mentioned before about this pack. You can get this pack on the Giants Mod Hub. The seed tanker, I got it all configured to where this holds nothing but seed, but you can have it to where it has seed and fertilizer. I don't remember the ratios of seed and fertilizer, but I just went with pure seed because with precision farming, this makes it easier for me to go fertilize later on. And I am thinking when I fertilize this field, I'm going to bring probably like the bolter down and our manure spreader and have Frank do it, hire a worker, because he'll take the manure directly out of our cow barn stall area, so I don't have to keep refilling it. So it's a little cheaty, but it helps out quite a bit. And we'll use up some of that manure. Got plenty of it. That's right, it's soybean. I don't need to fertilize it. What is the state of this field? Do I need to fertilize it? Oh wait, I don't have precision farming done in this field. Oh. Well, it's soybean. When it's not precision farmed, I don't know how the yield's going to be. If you got precision farming and you haven't done a field for precision farming, I don't know how the yield is affected. Not sure. But we'll get that crop sensor. We'll get the field tested, and then we'll see what we need. Shouldn't need no fertilizer being soybean, but I don't know. Might need some lime. I'm almost certain it's going to need lime. And lime's not that expensive. But we're just about done here. A brand new field, harvested the barley that the other farmer planted for us. How nice of him. And now we got another field of soybean to harvest when fall ends. Alright, start folding that up, and hopefully by the time I get to the edge of the field by the corn and the ball field fence, it'll be folded on up. I'm just going to park this over by the sheds for now. And we'll have to just jump back up to the Deutz Fire and see how Mrs. Frank did on cutting the rest of the grass up there. I'm sure they did fine. May have missed a slight piece here and there on the edges, but maybe not. So, yeah, next episode is going to be maybe a mixture of, well, in the beginning, we're definitely going to be doing the hay bales. Hopefully hay bales. Hopefully that grass is turned. And then we'll probably fast forward maybe to start doing some of the corn chaff, which will be like late fall. So it'll still be the same in-game day at the beginning of next episode, if the grass does turn, by the way. Maybe sense the fields with a crop sensor, and maybe start doing the chaff. Where is our lovely little Deutz Far here? Alright, I'm not seeing any grass standing up anywhere. Well, these things are filthy. Yep, it's all looking good. Perfect. Definitely got to fold these up because I will not get through the gates with those down. And I'll probably give these a good wash because we are done using these for the season as well. And once we do get a little bit more cash, definitely got to do some landscaping around here. There's some things I want to tidy on up. I want to do a little bit of work down here. That tree right in the center, that tree's got to go bye-bye. In the beginning, I kind of liked the placement of it, but now when I back trailers into there or into there, that tree is just, it's like constantly in the way. Either it's in the way of me backing in, or it's blocking my view so I can't see what the heck I'm doing. Clean these on up. And now I can kind of rest for the rest, well, not rest of the day, but at least until probably late afternoon. And hopefully by then the grass will have turned to hay. Just got to windrow it up and bale it, which won't take us too long. Pick up the bales, throw those into our bale sheds. And like I said, sell some milk. Hopefully by then the price is going up. I don't have to actually do it this in-game day. We can wait, fast forward till another day until the milk price is better. Because that crop's going to take maybe a day or two to germinate and grow. And I can still drive in the crop as long as it's in the first growth stage and we won't damage it at all. So that'll be fine. So we may end up doing that in the 5th day of summer. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, that is a good deal for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in Griffin, Indiana. But until then, have a good one.